Hi there, tennis friends. My name is Eli Pironqua, and today we're going to talk about grips. How to hold the racket when you hit forehand, when you hit one-handed backhand, when you hit two-handed backhand, when you hit forehand backhand volley, serve, and overhead. How are we holding the handle of the racket for each of those shots? So we're going to start with how do we hold the racket when we hit forehand. So for flat forehand, you will hold your racket in what is called a semi-western grip. It looks like this, okay? And the motion looks like this, right? A semi-western grip for a nice flat forehand. There's also a lot of players that are holding the racket in full western grip on their forehand. A full western grip looks like this. I think it is a little more awkward for beginner tennis players that are not children to get used to using this complete full western grip. I see some players on tour using it. It does generate a flat shot, but it also generates a lot of spin, right? So with the western grip, you can hit flat and you can also hit with a lot of spin, but it is a difficult grip. It's not for everyone. Some people will naturally be good at it, and for some people, it will be a complete disaster. Okay, kind of more of an old school version of, forehand grip will be the Eastern grip, which looks like this, right? This is an Eastern grip. It is very good for like flat shots. It is, however, not so great for spin shots. Some people claim that they're hitting spin even with the Eastern grip. However, the amount of spin that you can generate with the semi-Western grip or the full Western grip, it is more substantial than the one that you'll be able to generate with the Eastern grip. In reality, I do not recommend the Eastern grip for forehand unless, semi-Western grip, it's very difficult for you. I really would not consider Eastern grip because semi-Western grip to me really encompasses all the possibilities. You can hit flat, you can hit with spin, and you can actually easily transition to continental grip, which is the next grip we're going to talk about when you hit forehand slice. I know a lot of people don't hit forehand slice. That's okay, but I just kind of want to introduce it. You not only hit forehand slice with the continental grip, but you will also hit your forehand drop shot, and you will also hit your volley, serve, and overhead with the continental grip, which looks like this. It's also the old school forehand grip. If you're used to watch tennis in the 80s or like even before that, you see that a lot of players just played like this. This is the continental grip. We no longer use it for forehand. I'm sorry. If you have that grip, you're fine. It's not anything that is going to happen to you that it's super bad, but your abilities will be limited. And also, I would definitely not teach a beginner to use that grip at this point in time. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the two-handed backhand grips. So two-handed backhand is the shot that you hit with two hands like this, right? And the dominant hand, it's in continental grip, what I just talked about. So the non-dominant hand is in forehand Eastern grip, which is like this. Okay, so this is how you hold the racket for the two-handed backhand shot, which looks like this. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about the one-handed backhand. How do we hold the racket for that one-handed backhand? For the one-handed backhand, we need to be in a backhand Eastern grip, which looks like this. This is the backhand Eastern grip. Okay, backhand Eastern grip looks like this. And as you see the racket head, it's completely flat like that. You're taking it back, you're dropping it, and you're hitting flat here. And you can also hit with spin. Okay, so there really is no difference on the one-handed backhand shot if you'll be hitting spin or flat, right? It is the same grip. It's the backhand Eastern grip, backhand Eastern grip, which is, by the way, different than the forehand Eastern grip. That should be noted somewhere. Okay, they're very different grips. So we're moving into the next very important part. It's the volley. Okay, so forehand and backhand volley. What grip am I using when I'm hitting forehand and backhand volley? So you'll be using continental grip. This is very important. The technique on the volleys is completely different than on your ground stroke. So you will be here up at the net, obviously, you'll be split stepping. You see, this is your swing back as far as it's gonna go on your volley, and all you do, it's tapping forward. So you see, I'm in that beautiful continental grip. It's very versatile. You can do this, you can do that, it is the grip that you're gonna use at the net. I know this is kind of difficult for some people. You know, some people would like to do more of an Eastern grip. However, when you're holding the Eastern grip, the ball is having very flat impact on the racket. With that Eastern grip, you're literally like facing the ball super flat, and it could, have impact on your wrists. I don't recommend it. I recommend what we call the hammer continental grip. This is how you hold it, and this is how you hit forehand and backhand volley. Okay, so now we're gonna continue with the overhead. Overhead, you also play in a continental grip, right? So as you can see, I'm holding the continental grip, but there's a little bit of space here in between my index finger and the rest of my fingers. Okay, that gives me just a little bit of flexibility on what I can do with the racket, right? So when we're hitting on overhead, obviously we're hitting the ball above our head. We bring the racket back. The racket is closed like this, right? See how close the racket is? And as we move forward, we're doing something that's called the pronation, right? The pronation, it's that forward motion of the wrist opening the racket towards the tennis court, right? Boom, and then you're closing. So why am I saying this? If you don't hold continental grip, you will not be able to pronate on your overhead and on your serve, right? So this is why it's so important to hold the continental grip. Some people are like, this is so awkward, I want to do the Eastern grip. You can start with the Eastern grip. If the continental, it's like super awkward, start at the Eastern, that's fine. And little by little, bring it in, right? So the Eastern is here. You can still kind of pronate a little bit, but it's very different. It's very different, right? You want to be in the continental grip, ideally, after you get through that feeling of uncertainty and like that. It doesn't feel right. It's just super awkward. Yes, but once you get to it and you get used to it, you can bury the fruits of, a beautiful overhead and eventually beautiful serve. Which takes us to our last, thing that we're going to talk about in terms of grips, and this is the serve. Okay, so the serve, it's the same thing as the overhead. You need to hold the continental grip. We're pronating, right? We bring the racket back with the continental grip. You can do that, opening the racket with that pronating motion and closing like this. Okay, so this will give you the ultimate tennis serve. I mean, I've seen people make all the grips work, right? But in reality, if you want to continue improving in tennis, you need to have some technical things in place to where you can achieve your ultimate shots. Because, you could play as a player, you could have hit a lot of like junk shots, with the weird grips that you're holding, but you will not be able to improve past that line. Okay guys, this is everything from this lesson about the grips. If this video was helpful to you, please give it a like and subscribe to my channel. Have a good day. Bye.